You've probably smelled it before, in a hallway, a bedroom, or even on a hug from someone you love. It's a scent almost everyone over 70 seems to carry, but no one dares to talk about. Most think it's just part of old age. But here's the shocking truth. 99% of senior citizens have this odor, and it's not coming from their skin. What if I told you the real source is something you've never considered, and that you could fix it naturally, with no medications, no shame, and no expensive products? Stick around. This might change everything. There's a particular scent that seems to linger in places where senior citizens spend a lot of time. It's faint, yet unmistakable, not strong enough to shock you, but persistent enough to stay in the back of your mind. Some call it old age smell, but no one ever says it out loud. Have you ever walked into a room and felt something different in the air, but didn't quite know what it was? That soft, musty tone that doesn't come from food or dust or anything specific. Just a smell. Quiet. Familiar. Unspoken. Why do we sense it, but brush it aside? And more importantly, where is it really coming from? It's funny, isn't it? We talk about diet, exercise, memory, even bowel movements in senior health circles, but rarely do we speak of smell. Not perfume, not cologne, that other smell. The one that sneaks into clothes, clings to chairs, and somehow survives a wash. People notice it. Some smile awkwardly. Others light a candle or spray something in the air. But deep down, there's a quiet agreement not to mention it. Almost like it would be rude. But should we really stay silent about something that touches the dignity and well-being for seniors? This odor has become so normalized that many elderly people don't even realize it's there. They've grown used to it, like the ticking of an old clock or the creak of a wooden floor. And yet, for their children or visitors, it stands out like an unanswered question. Could it be something natural? Maybe. Could it be a signal of something else? Possibly. But pretending it doesn't exist doesn't help anyone, especially when there are healthy aging habits that can gently, kindly, and respectfully reduce it. The human nose is fascinating. It remembers more than we think. Smells attach to memories, people, and places. So when that odor floats through a room, it brings an entire narrative with it. For some, it recalls their grandmother's home. For others, a visit to the hospital. And while that might seem nostalgic, there's something bittersweet about a scent that's so closely tied to old age. Why does it feel so familiar, and yet so quietly uncomfortable? Let's be honest, senior citizens deserve to feel fresh, respected, and vibrant. But how can that happen if there's a silent cloud following them that no one dares to mention? In care homes, it becomes even more noticeable. Hallways, rooms, even bedsheets carry the same aroma. That's not just coincidence. And no, it's not about hygiene or laziness. It goes deeper than that. It's time we broke this taboo, not with criticism, but with wisdom, empathy, and clarity. Because behind that smell, there's a truth worth uncovering. So here's the question that no one seems to ask out loud. If this odor is so widespread among older adults, could there be something happening inside the body that explains it? And even more curious, if 99% of the elderly population experiences this, does that mean it's simply inevitable? Or is there something we've all been missing? 99%. That number might sound exaggerated, but in this case, it's not. Practically every senior citizen will, at some point, experience this mysterious odor we started talking about. And yet, most have no idea why. It's not poor hygiene. It's not neglect. It's biology. Aging bodies go through subtle but powerful changes that most people don't even notice happening. Skin chemistry shifts. Hormones fluctuate. Metabolism slows down. And with these changes, the body begins to release compounds it never did before. That's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to understand. One of the key players here is a compound called 2-nonenal. Never heard of it. Most haven't. It's a substance that increases with age and is produced when fatty acids on the skin oxidize. That's a natural process, especially in older adults. The interesting part? It doesn't usually show up in younger people. And that's what makes it so tied to the concept of old age. This isn't about being clean or dirty. It's about how the body evolves. And for those who care about senior health, knowing this is already a game changer. So when we say 99%, we're not exaggerating, we're facing reality. Nearly every elderly person deals with this. And yet, the shame around it still exists. Imagine going through decades of life, building wisdom, raising families, contributing to the world, only to feel embarrassed by something as simple as a smell? That's unfair. Healthy aging should never be associated with discomfort or stigma. It should be celebrated with real knowledge and compassion. The smell is a symptom, not of decay, but of transition. Think of it like this. Just as wrinkles appear and joints get stiff, this odor is one more signal that the body is adapting to a new phase. That's not something to hide. It's something to learn from. In fact, some cultures even honor these changes, seeing them as part of life's natural rhythm. So what if we did the same? What if instead of whispering about these issues, we opened up the conversation? What if we saw this scent not as a curse, but as a clue, a guide pointing us toward deeper well-being for seniors? The tricky part is, most people don't know this. They think the smell comes from clothes left unwashed or homes not ventilated. And sure, that can play a role. But the root of the issue lies within. It's the body speaking a language we've forgotten how to interpret. And if 99% of senior citizens go through this, doesn't that mean the problem and the solution are bigger than we thought? Doesn't that open the door for new understanding? Because if this is happening with almost everyone in their later years, the next question becomes urgent. What are we doing every single day that might be making it worse, without even realizing it? Here's the twist that catches most people off guard. This odor, so common among the elderly, isn't just about biology. It's also about habits. Small, daily choices that seem harmless, even helpful, can quietly make things worse. Most senior citizens are unknowingly doing something every single day that intensifies this scent. And the irony? They believe it's part of staying clean, part of being presentable, but it's not. It's working against them. And it's time to expose this well-meaning mistake that's hiding in plain sight. Let's talk about soap. That beloved bar in the bathroom or that bottle of scented gel by the sink. Many older adults, in their desire to feel fresh, use antibacterial soaps and strong deodorizing body washes. Some even bathe twice a day. But here's the catch. Overwashing strips away the natural oils on the skin. And guess what? When those oils vanish, the body produces even more, triggering more oxidation and, you guessed it, more 2-nonenal. That famous old age smell becomes stronger, not weaker. Imagine an elderly man who showers each morning and again before bed. He uses a citrus body wash, scrubs with a rough sponge, and adds aftershave for good measure. He's doing everything he thinks is right. But inside his skin, something else is happening. The protective barrier is breaking down. Microbiota, those helpful skin bacteria, get thrown off balance. And when that happens, odor doesn't decrease. It multiplies. That's not neglect. That's unintentional sabotage in the name of cleanliness. Another overlooked mistake? Wearing synthetic fabrics that don't breathe. Polyester pajamas, nylon undergarments. Those materials trap moisture and body oils, giving odor compounds a perfect place to settle. And since many senior citizens prefer comfort over constant wardrobe changes, the same clothes get worn repeatedly. No shame in that, just something to be aware of. Healthy aging isn't just about what we do, it's about how we do it. Even laundry habits play a part. Most don't realize this, but using fabric softeners, especially the scented kind, can trap those compounds deeper into clothes. The scent of fresh linen might mask things for a while, but eventually the underlying smell breaks through, stronger than before. It's like putting perfume on mold. It doesn't solve the problem. For true well-being for seniors, solutions need to go beyond appearances and get to the root. That means choosing breathable fabrics, natural detergents, and letting skin rest. Here's what makes this so fascinating. Everything people are doing to fight the smell might be the very thing making it worse. And when we look deeper, it becomes obvious. This daily mistake is easy to fix once we understand it. But it also begs the question, if the smell doesn't really come from the skin, then where is it truly coming from? Now here comes the twist that surprises even the most attentive caregivers and senior citizens themselves. That smell? It's not really coming from the skin. Not entirely. Yes, the skin plays a role, but it's not the main culprit. In fact, the real source often hides in places people rarely suspect. We're talking about fabric, food, and even furniture. That odor you thought was just part of aging, it might actually be embedded in the pillow you sleep on or the slippers you wear every day. Strange? Maybe, but true. Let's start with clothes. Over time, sweat, natural oils, and those oxidized compounds settle deep into fabric, especially in areas like collars, armpits, and waistbands. Now, here's the catch. Traditional washing doesn't always get them out. That's why even freshly washed clothes can carry a faint, persistent scent. And for senior citizens who wear cozy favorites again and again, like that cherished cardigan or those flannel pants, the smell builds up layer by layer. Not because of poor hygiene, but because the fabric becomes a sponge. And then, there's the pillow. Think about it. We spend nearly a third of our lives with our head pressed against the same surface, night after night. Over time, sweat and sebum, especially from older skin, soak into the pillowcase and eventually the pillow itself. Even washing the pillowcase weekly won't help much if the inside has absorbed years of natural oils. This is why some elderly people notice the smell more strongly in bedrooms than anywhere else. Not because the room is dirty, but because their pillow has become a reservoir. Still surprised? Let's go even deeper. Diet plays a role too. Certain foods, especially processed meats, fried items, and alcohol, can alter the body's chemical output. What we eat doesn't just affect our digestion. It changes what's released through our pores. When metabolism slows with age, those byproducts hang around longer. This means an elderly person who regularly eats spicy sausage or drinks red wine might unknowingly be contributing to a lingering scent in their home. It's not just about soap, it's about what's on the plate, too. Even the gut microbiota, the trillions of bacteria in our intestines, play a role. When out of balance, they can affect everything from mood to odor. An unhealthy gut can lead to an overproduction of certain compounds that eventually find their way out through breath, sweat, and even urine. That's why tips for a longer life often include probiotics, fiber-rich foods, and fermented vegetables. Not just for digestion, but to keep the internal system running clean and the external signals, like body scent, in check. So now that we know the smell isn't just about the skin, but also lives in clothes, shoes, pillows, and even gut bacteria, the next natural question becomes, what if that odor isn't just annoying, but a warning sign? Most people assume that the common odor found among the elderly is just part of getting older. But what if that familiar scent isn't just a result of aging? What if it's a signal? A red flag waving quietly in the background, trying to say something more serious is going on. Here's the truth. Sometimes, that smell isn't innocent. In certain cases, it can be the first and only visible, or rather, noticeable, sign that something inside the body is out of balance. It's not always just aging. It could be something deeper and more dangerous. Take liver function, for example. When the liver isn't processing toxins efficiently, the body looks for other ways to release waste. One of those ways is through the skin. That release can create a sweet, musty odor, something many caregivers notice but don't recognize as a symptom. The same goes for kidney issues. When kidneys begin to slow down, waste products may seep through sweat or breath. That ammonia-like smell isn't random. It could be the body's last resort alarm system. For senior health, recognizing this early can save lives. And what about diabetes? It's more common among senior citizens than many realize. When blood sugar levels are chronically high, the body starts breaking down fat for fuel. This process releases ketones, chemicals that carry a very distinct smell, often described as fruity or nail polish-like. That scent isn't harmless. It's a medical clue, a warning. Many older adults live with undiagnosed diabetes for years, attributing the changes in their body, including the odor, to just old age. That assumption can be dangerous. Then there are nutritional deficiencies. A lack of certain vitamins, especially B12 or zinc, can alter how the body breaks down food and handles metabolic waste. That, in turn, changes body odor. For senior citizens who've gradually lost appetite or shifted to simpler meals, this is particularly relevant. A person might think they're eating light, when in reality, their body is starving for key nutrients. And the result? An odd, persistent smell that no soap or shampoo can cover. It's not about hygiene, it's about nourishment. Infections, too, can create distinct odors. Urinary tract infections, fungal issues, or even minor skin infections can cause smells that seem to follow a person. Often, elderly individuals won't feel pain or discomfort the way younger people might. Instead, a caregiver or loved one will pick up on a strange new scent. That's why awareness matters. Healthy aging isn't just about feeling good. It's about noticing the subtle signs when something might be going wrong. The body whispers before it screams. So if we know that certain odors can be signs of deeper imbalances, what can be done? Must we always turn to medications and tests? Or are there natural, gentle approaches that respect the dignity and well-being for seniors? Let's set one thing straight right away. This smell doesn't have to be a life sentence. No one, absolutely no one, should feel embarrassed about a natural process that comes with age. But there are simple, respectful ways to reduce or even eliminate that odor without relying on expensive products or harsh medications. And the best part? These changes can actually improve overall well-being for seniors, not just mask a scent. We're not talking about tricks. We're talking about lifestyle shifts that empower dignity and health. Start with hydration. Many senior citizens don't drink enough water, and dehydration leads to a concentration of waste in sweat and urine, which makes any natural odor more intense. A good rule: aim for 6 to 8 cups of water a day unless advised otherwise by a doctor. If plain water feels boring, infuse it with slices of cucumber, lemon, or mint. Not only does this help cleanse the body from the inside, but it also supports better skin function, gut health, and overall energy. Key pillars of healthy aging. Next, focus on food. Eating clean, nutrient-dense meals is a natural way to balance the body's internal chemistry. Think leafy greens, berries, fermented foods like kefir or sauerkraut, and lean proteins. These choices help regulate metabolism and keep the gut microbiota in harmony. A balanced gut reduces the formation of odor-causing compounds. So instead of relying on perfume, rely on your plate. Encourage the elderly to explore flavorful but light meals, soups with fresh herbs, roasted vegetables, or oatmeal with flaxseed and cinnamon. Let's not forget about fabrics. Encourage breathable materials like cotton, bamboo, or linen. These fabrics allow the skin to breathe and prevent the buildup of oils and sweat. Clothes should be rotated and washed regularly with natural, unscented detergents. Adding a cup of white vinegar to a rinse cycle can help remove deep-set odors in laundry without chemicals. And pillows? Replace or deep clean them at least once a year. These small adjustments go a long way in promoting senior health and comfort at home. Natural hygiene also plays a huge role. Instead of using strong antibacterial soaps, choose gentle, pH-balanced cleansers. Coconut oil, witch hazel, or diluted apple cider vinegar can help balance the skin's ecosystem without stripping it. A warm bath with Epsom salts once or twice a week can also detoxify the skin and soothe the body. This approach isn't just cleaner, it's kinder. It says to the elderly person, you deserve care that honors your stage of life. And that matters deeply, because once someone begins to make these shifts, hydration, real food, smart fabrics, natural hygiene, something remarkable happens. Not only does the smell fade, but the confidence returns. The shame dissolves, and in place of it comes clarity, dignity, and a new sense of control. But it also raises one final, burning question. If something as subtle as a smell can reveal so much, what else are we overlooking in the daily lives of those in old age? Now that you know the truth, what will you do with it? Will you keep thinking it's just part of aging? Or will you take that first simple step toward healthy aging with dignity and clarity? This odor, so common, yet so misunderstood, was never about shame. It was your body's quiet way of asking for help. And now, you have the tools to listen, to act, and to feel in control again. Imagine waking up one morning, taking a deep breath, and realizing it's gone. The smell, the worry, the embarrassment, all replaced by confidence, vitality, and a quiet pride. That's the power of small changes. Real food, soft fabrics, gentle care. You don't need magic. You need understanding. You need respect for this chapter of life. And that's exactly what you've just received. So I want to ask you something from the heart. How long have you ignored the signs your body has been giving you? How many times did you think this is normal when it wasn't? And now that you do know better, will you share this knowledge with someone else who needs it? A friend? A sibling? Maybe even your own caregiver? Let's break the silence together. Let's bring dignity back to senior health and make well-being for seniors a shared mission. If even one of these tips for a longer life made sense to you today, it means you're ready to reclaim your space, your comfort, and your self-respect. Now, don't just walk away and forget this. Take a moment to comment below. What part surprised you the most? What changes are you going to try this week? I'm listening, and so are others who need your voice. And if you want more wisdom like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Because your journey to feeling better, lighter, and more confident is just getting started.